As I discussed earlier, I was an avid cyclist. I would do over 5,000 miles a year on my bicycle. And one of the hardest things I had to do was to get rid of my bicycle. Yes, I had to sell my car, but selling my bicycle, it's only in Colorado that the bicycle on top of the car is worth more than the car below it, right? And I was sitting on my couch, wallowing in self-pity. I cannot ride anymore. And I could feel the fat growing on me from my inactivity. But I still wallowed in self-pity. And I don't know if my wife is the one that incited this, but my friend Tim calls me up and says, Andre, why don't you and I do the 100-mile Elephant Rock bike ride this summer? And let's start training on a tandem. And I'm going to tandem me. No way, I am CEO material. I'm the front seat kind of guy. I have to be in charge of the gears. I have to be in charge of how fast we go. And yes, I also want to ring the bell. And the last thing I want to do is to be in the back of that bike looking at your butt all day long. And he says, why are you worried? You won't see it. He did have a point. But I was stubborn. And I was judging my situation and saying that I needed to be in front. I needed to be in charge, and I would not give it up. So I sat on the couch and I grew fat. And it was a few days of transition from judging to assessing. If I get back on that bike, even if I'm the back seat, I will feel the burn in my legs. I will feel the sweat coming down my back again. And the wind, through Tim first and then me, but I would have the wind in my face again. So when you find yourself in a situation where change comes, do you sit there and wallow in self-pity and wish for the things to go back to the way they were? Or are you willing to compromise and assess and understand that the past is the past? It's now time to move on, to move forward. So I bought the tandem and I called Tim and I said, Tim, I bought a tandem. Let's you and I start training. So he comes to my house, and after the oohs and ahs on the beautiful bicycle, I get on the bike and I go, let's go. He says, wait a minute. He says, how many gears? Oh, it's 27 gears, 3 in the front, 9 in the back. Come on, let's go. No, he says, I see you got disc brakes. And how are we going to communicate? I'm ready to ride, and he's asking all these questions. He's ready to talk. And I realized that there's different management styles. He's deliberate, I'm intuitive. Now I can come in with my management style and try to control him. He's the captain, I'm the stoker. And if I try to truly impose my ways on him, is he coming back? No, of course not. So now I need to understand I'm no longer the CEO on that bicycle. I have the back seat, and I have to give up a little bit. I have to be curious about his way of handling. I have to change how I do things. When you have a new subordinate, when you have a new boss, because you know what boss is backwards? It's double SOB, right? So if you have a new boss, or you are the boss, are you trying to force things in a way that doesn't work? Because you see, Tim and I got onto the bike trail, and here we were cruising away. And I'm going, Tim, you're in the wrong gear. You're killing me back here. 23-time Boston Marathon runner. That was Tim. Huge lung capacity, high revolutions, low resistance. I liked it the other way around. He goes, what do you mean the wrong gear? This is the perfect gear. And I'm going, I'm dying back here. So when you are in charge, are you setting a pace that is so murderous that you're leaving your team behind? So if Tim keeps that up in 5 miles, guess what? We're walking that bike. We're not riding it anymore. So think about it. When you've got your team, when you are in charge, do it in such a way so that you're communicating. You're curious about the point of view so you can change with the things that are happening around you. So we started to figure out how to ride. And we finally, after 20 miles, we're in a nice cadence, nice rhythm. And then we got to the steep but short climb at Chatfield Dam. And we argued all the way to the top. There's always going to be a Chatfield Dam. As your business is flowing, as things are going great in your family, your household, in your life, there's going to be a challenge. Yes, I lost my eyesight. Then I lost my job. And after that, I got diagnosed with cancer. And now I find out it has metastasized. So it is difficult. Maybe it's not a dam anymore. Now maybe it is a Himalaya. We've got those in our lives. Change comes. But how we react to it will determine how we live our lives. So my challenge is, don't allow change to dictate how you feel about yourself. Be curious about alternatives. Because even if the diagnosis is terminal, you have a choice, right? You can wallow in self-pity and become a miserable person. Or you can choose to find out how you're going to live a dignified life all the way to the end. So be curious and open your mind. So in conclusion, we explored a lot of things today. But my hope is that I left you with at least 3 thoughts. Number 1 is I want you to be truly, fiercely curious. Be curious about the points of view of your spouse, of your children, of your subordinate, your bosses, your vendors, the people around you. Because the way to stay ahead of change is by being prepared to see things differently. And my challenge to you is look for different ways to be curious. And when you judge your situation, you're using your prejudices and your preconceived ideas. So assess instead and look forward. See what the possibilities are, because they're wonderful, even in the most difficult situation, if you choose to do so. Because the world is not about the way that it is today, but about the way that you can make it tomorrow. And you can bring change about through your curiosity. So the next time that you read the Declaration of Independence, why don't we be just a little bit dyslexic and read it as that we have the unalienable right to life, liberty, and the happiness of the pursuit. Thank you very much. Okay, tell them.